Gaming is culture.
You fucking whiny whore.
Gaming.
Hey everyone, it's Richie. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today's video is not going to be anything related to ZA. Instead, if you've watched my video ranting about Fire Red Leaf Green, it's going to be another one of those. So again, little disclaimer, if you're not interested in hearing me bitch and moan and complain for the next couple of minutes, go ahead and click off the video now. If you didn't click off the video, you probably know the news by now. Pokemon intends to shut down Pokemon Bank, a service on 3DS/DS that allowed you to move your Pokemon from older Pokemon games onto Pokemon Home and therefore the Switch family of Pokemon titles. Just like the Fire Red Leaf Green situation, this wasn't actually originally something that I intended to make into a video, but after seeing a bunch of morons brainlessly defending this decision over on X or whatever, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead. So I'm gonna go straight to the point. This is a very stupid and very anti-consumer decision. The Pokemon Company has practically infinite money. They are the biggest media franchise on the planet. I think they can afford to keep these servers up indefinitely. Yes, I said indefinitely. I should always be able to transfer my Pokemon from older Pokemon games that I own on hardware, no questions asked. However, my friends, I think that this rabbit hole goes a little bit deeper than what most people are seeing on the surface. Some of it might seem that the Pokemon Company has decided to shut this down just to save out on some money. What I'm alluding to here is the fact that
They probably just don't care because the usage is so low.
Fire Red Leaf Green came out a couple months back for the Nintendo Switch. Notice how Fire Red Leaf Green is going to be getting Pokemon Home compatibility soon. What do you think the Pokemon Company intends to do? They get rid of Pokemon Bank, they release Fire Red Leaf Green, unedited ROM, practically no difference to the original game, for a very unreasonable price of $20 over the Nintendo eShop with home support. What do you guys think is the long-term strategy? I'll tell you what it is. These guys are going to resell you old Pokemon games with home compatibility for $20+. Probably next is going to be the Gen 3 games, Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire. I'm sure Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and the DS games like Platinum and Black and White will come at some point as well. Pokemon Company wants to resell you these games probably at just as much of an egregious, ridiculous price as Fire Red Leaf Green was over on Switch.
An egregious, ridiculous price. $20. Dude, I don't know. I just can't get behind this, like, broke-ass mentality, man. We're bitching over $20 fucking dollars. That is less than ordering McDonald's on fucking Uber Eats. $20 fucking dollars. Like, if you're a broke boy, just say so. Like, real shit.
Is now, if you want to transfer mons from older games, you know, now you've got to buy this new version because the version that you've owned for the past 20 years is no longer compatible. You can't transfer up anymore. Not to mention the devastating effect that this is having on people.
Okay, but why do you even need to transfer? You don't need to. Transferring Pokemon is not a required feature. Like, yeah, it's fine, it's cool, whatever, but you don't have to. I've never transferred Pokemon. It's not that big a deal.
Who like to have living dexes or maybe collect ribbons, etc. A lot of that stuff just isn't going to be possible anymore. Lots of Pokemon.
Ribbons? Oh my god. Ribbons, dude. What will we do without the heckin' ribbons?
Just aren't going to be shiny huntable anymore until these games hit Nintendo Switch and you gotta cough up some money for them. This Pokemon Bank stuff is all in an effort to try to get you to spend money on Nintendo Switch ports, which are egregiously overpriced. And I already went over this in my last video talking about
egregiously overpriced. How much is a original copy of Fire Red or Leaf Green? I'm just curious. If I wanted to go out and go shiny hunting on fucking Fire Red, how much am I spending to get that copy of the game for the Game Boy? Just, you know, ballpark estimate. I'm sure that's a lot more egregious than paying $20 for a fucking digital copy on the Switch.
this whole situation with the Fire Red Leaf Green debacle, but I'll go over it quickly again. Fire Red Leaf Green is just pretty much an almost unchanged version of Fire Red Leaf Green. It's just the straight ROM from Game Boy Advance straight onto Nintendo Switch for
God!
I'm pretty happy with that.
$20, which is a ridiculously horrible price. See a lot of people defending this price tag saying, well, I'd rather buy...
It's ridiculous. Dude, yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Like, $20? Holy fuck. Really? $20 fucking dollars is too much nowadays.
For $20 than $200 from scalpers online. Why is that the comparison that we're using here? You want to know the metric we should be holding this upon?
Why is that the comparison? Because that's the reality in which we live. You either pay $200 for the physical copy or you pay $20 for a digital copy. That's the reality in which we, are operating. So, makes sense that that's what people are comparing.
on $8 or so, which is the price that Nintendo charged for Game Boy Advance games over on the Wii U Virtual Console. Nintendo set that metric. Nintendo set that precedent, not me. So to ask over double that amount for an unchanged ROM of Fire Red Leaf Green is honestly pathetic. One of the points that I made in my Fire Red Leaf Green video is that the only boon of this new port is that you have Pokemon Home compatibility, which doesn't really matter because Pokemon Bank still exists and you could just transfer from the version you already own. But I guess the Pokemon Company saw that video and decided, hey, he has a good point. Let's take that little boon away.
That's right, dude. They saw your video and were like, we're getting rid of this now. It's not the fact that the 3DS is going on 2 console generations old, and the number of people using Pokemon Bank are probably in maybe the 4 digits. I think that probably has a little bit more to do with it than, you know, some random-ass YouTube video. But hey.
In order to force you to buy these new Switch ports, which are egregiously overpriced. And again, I already brought this example up in my Fire Red Leaf Green video, but if you want even more proof that you're getting ripped off, check out the Mega Man franchise and their innumerable game collections over on Steam. I mean, for fuck's sakes, again, I'm going to bring up this game again, but it's my favorite game ever made.
Yeah, but dude, the Pokemon games, like, one generation of Pokemon outsells the entire fucking Mega Man franchise, so not really the same thing.
The 0ZX Legacy Collection for only $30, and typically much less than that because it goes on sale often, gives you 4 Game Boy Advance games, 2 DS games, an entire music gallery, an entire art gallery, and an online leaderboard in a brand new speedrun mode called Z Chaser. Pokemon Company, you want to re-release your old games? How about charging $30 to $40 for every single one of your Game Boy Advance and DS era Pokemon games with online compatibility? Then maybe we can talk. When I start to make comparisons like this, people tend to say, oh, well, that's Mega Man. Pokemon's different. That's exactly the problem. They're leveraging their Titanic IP to get away with these horrible anti-consumer practices. Anyway, I think I've said what needs...
Anti-consumer. Instead of having to buy a $200 retro game, you can just buy it for $20 digitally. Oy vey.
To be said, so please, 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 if you care about stopping these anti-consumer practices, not like we haven't much hope of doing so, but still, if you want to at least try, do not buy these Switch ports of old Pokemon games. Besides the fact that it's just not worth
I absolutely will.
your money, because holy shit, why are we paying $20 for a 22-year-old game? They're trying to force you into buying these games just to transfer from the older generations after Bank is shut down. The next thing I want you guys to do, if possible, is please visit the official Pokemon website and put in a support ticket and complain to hell about the fact that they are discontinuing Bank, because there is no reason that the Pokemon Company should not have this service up indefinitely. They have the resources, they have the money to manage this crap forever, and they should do so. My physical copies of the games that I bought 20 plus years ago should not be deemed irrelevant overnight because you want to make more money selling the same game on your Nintendo Switch for double the price that they should be worth. And again, just because these games are going for $150 a cartridge in real life does not excuse the fact that they want $20 for Game Boy Advance games. Please never...
Dude, I don't understand. Like, if it was $50, sure. If it was $40, sure. $30 even, okay, maybe they're pushing it a little bit. That's like MSRP when they originally released. But $20 fucking dollars? Dude, $20 ain't shit. $20 is like the new $5. Like, you know, when you were a kid, you used to get $5 and you could go, you know, buy something. Well, nowadays, you basically can have that same experience with 20. You know, $20 is the new $5. Like, that's just crazy. Like, $20 is unacceptable. Yeah, a game you're going to play potentially for hundreds of hours is not worth $20 fucking dollars. Okay, bro. Whatever you say.
Stop bitching and complaining about the fact that Bank is shutting down. Please do not buy these Nintendo Switch ports of these Pokemon games. It promotes bad business practices, and Pokemon Company just wants to squeeze you for as much money as they can. It's nothing new. This is just the latest in one of their shitty trends. More ZA stuff on the channel soon. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, exactly, dude. $100 barely pays for, like, going out to dinner. Like, if you go out to eat with another person, you're paying $80-90 minimum. You know, at least where I live, bro, you're not paying under $25 for an entree. Like, I don't know. Like, $100 isn't even shit anymore. Like, $100 is the new 20. So, $100 is like dinner for 2. One of the two, you would pay $80 for Final Abortion Switch 1? Huh? I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But I mean, yeah, I would pay personally 800 for Final Fantasy Part 3, but I don't really care. Rebirth and Remake are two shining lights in an otherwise dark industry, so I will happily pay whatever is necessary to get Part 3. Because it's pretty much the last game I'm genuinely looking forward to. It's kind of like the last hurrah of sorts.
Some people are turning this beautiful
place. Fuck that, bro.
park into their personal ATM.
They're having live sales shows in the middle of the effing sport. This shouldn't be allowed.
They're manipulating their followers, disrespecting cast members and guests, yelling at their chat, begging for gifts, talking over rides and the soundtrack of the park, eating premium meals while begging their loyal followers to foot the bill.
I was accused of attacking another content creator at Disneyland.
Fights between visitors has escalated at both Disney World and Disneyland.
When I was at Princess Night, I almost got punched in the face.
Yesterday, there were at least 3 swatting calls at Disneyland.
My daughter was injured because of the stampeding crowd.
Disney's theme parks were built to take your money, but today they're also a place people go to make it. What started as a harmless fandom has turned into an aggressive digital gold rush, bringing real-world drama right onto the rides, ruining the park experience for regular families, and leaving frustrated guests begging Disney to finally pull the plug. For most of Disney's history, the relationship between the parks and its guests was simple. People bought tickets, food, and souvenirs before returning home with memories of their trip. But the rise of social media began to change that relationship. In the early days of online Disney content, most creators were simply documenting the parks. POVs, parade recordings, walkthroughs, and attraction footage allowed fans to experience Disney from anywhere in the world. But around 2012, a new type of Disney content began to emerge. Inspired by the rise of YouTube vlogging, creators stopped simply recording the parks and started bringing viewers along with them. They talked directly to the camera, shared their reactions, and they became micro-celebrities behind the gates. However, when the parks reopened after the pandemic, fan demand surged to unprecedented levels, and a new wave of creators began cashing in by live streaming directly from the parks. Viewers were no longer just watching someone's day after the fact, they were actively controlling it. They used donations to dictate which rides creators went on, and even used the Disney mobile app to order food directly to their favorite streamer. This is when Disney evolved from a tourist destination into a place people could participate in from anywhere in the world. One of the creators who built a career around this model is the Jungle Skipper.
How often do I stream it? Disneyland quite often, internet oddities quite often. We stream 5 days a week, every week.
Around his peak, the Jungle Skipper had 578 subscribers, each paying $8.49 a month, generating nearly
Jesus Christ, man.
$59,000 a year before accounting for donations, merchandise, or ad revenue. To put that into perspective, many front-facing Disney cast members earn between $32,000 and $40,000 a year, meaning a creator filming inside the parks could potentially make more money than some of the employees responsible for
just consuming slop at Disney World. $60K a year in fucking, subscription. That's wild.
operating the attractions themselves. And seeing that kind of revenue unlocked a whole new blueprint. Almost overnight, his success proved that a phone and an annual pass could be a ticket out of a traditional job. What started as a niche hobby suddenly looked like a viable career, and an
Yep, anything but a job, guys.
entire army of aspiring creators flooded the parks, all trying to replicate his payday. One of those creators was Ethan's Adventures, a 26-year-old who quit his traditional job to stream at Disney up to 6 days a week. With his
Euthanize.
entire livelihood on the line, even his living situation became tied to his channel, eventually moving in with one of his own chat moderators. To keep the operation afloat, Ethan embraced a style of streaming critics frequently refer to as digital panhandling. Rather than passively documenting the parks, his broadcasts revolved
Raymond.
around persistent
The DSP of Disney.
requests for cash, asking viewers to fund his tickets, pay for his meals, and buy him merchandise in exchange for a shout-out on camera.
Shelby, this is the jacket you want to get, right? For me?
Let's freaking go.
But as his platform grew, the dynamic between creator and fan escalated far past financial requests. Allegations surfaced that Ethan was leveraging his local internet celebrity and access to the parks for favors, offering free Disney tickets to female viewers in exchange for explicit photos or sexual acts.
Bruh.
Ethan wasn't an isolated case of questionable behavior inside the parks. Even top earners like the Jungle Skipper, who turned streaming into a full-time middle-class income, routinely faces intense backlash from parkgoers and online critics alike. Like many full-time streamers, Jungle Skipper is frequently criticized for broadcasting unsuspecting guests in long lines, talking loudly in dark rides,
Ashley G, let's go!
and treating public park spaces like a private broadcast studio. But his streams have also showcased deliberate tactics to manipulate the park environments for his own broadcast. In one infamous example, parkgoers reported watching Jungle Skipper board the Main Street fire truck at night to deliver loud, inspirational talks to his chat. To clear out families who were already sitting on the vehicle, he allegedly began shouting obnoxiously about diarrhea, making surrounding guests uncomfortable enough to leave so he could hold the space entirely for himself. Incidents like this, paired with his aggressive broadcasting style, have led to direct confrontations with frustrated guests and callouts from fellow creators, who argue that this hustle actively ruins the parks for everyone else.
Just because you're a Disney streamer doesn't mean you need to take up that much space. You're not a celebrity.
You can have fun at a theme park.
You don't need to be screaming and punching the wall.
But this friction didn't stop with dark rides or regular park guests. As the monetization arms race escalated, creators began targeting the people who actually work at the park, none more notoriously than a channel known as Magic Park Memories. She built an entire channel around a singular focus: Casey's Corner piano player Grayson Smith. Sitting outside the Main Street restaurant for hours on end, she began live streaming his daily performances, effectively commandeering a Disney employee as the unpaid star of her monetized content. Critics were quick to point out that she seemed to know very little about Disney itself, appearing to treat the park solely as a financial vessel. To make matters worse, her content crossed into parasocial fixation, tracking his work schedules, making uncomfortable remarks about his appearance, and accepting paid viewers' song requests and donations on his behalf.
She sits there for their entire shift. She screams right up in their faces as these people are playing on piano.
Because Disney cast members are strictly forbidden from accepting personal cash tips, her streams created an awkward, predatory dynamic, a streamer monetizing a working employee who literally could not walk away without abandoning his job. Her behavior drew mainstream media coverage, with outlets like the New York Post highlighting how creator culture was turning Disney's magical atmosphere into a breeding ground for harassment, grifting, and public disruption.
What you have done is created a middleman business between the theme park and the people who aren't there who are watching on TikTok.
By this point, the park floor was completely saturated. Regular guests were fed up, cast members were uncomfortable, and online communities were pointing across the globe to Tokyo Disney, which had already cracked down on the culture in 2022 by officially banning live streaming, as well as, quote, any recording that inconveniences other guests. Yet in the Western parks, the gold rush raged on, despite—
Yeah, well now they have those meta glasses, so you don't even have to carry a camera rig anymore.
the ironic reality at the heart of it all. For every Jungle Skipper turning a middle-class income off park streams, the vast majority of these creators weren't getting rich. In fact, most were sacrificing their days, their self-respect, and the park experience for everyone around them for absolutely nothing.
A lot of work coming out here, every day. I put 25 hours into the channel the last 2 days. We made about 90 cents yesterday.
To understand how Disney parks transformed into a broadcast studio, you have to look at what these creators are actually carrying through the turnstiles. A decade ago, filming at Disney meant pulling out a smartphone to record a parade. Today, it's an industrial operation. Step on a main street on any given afternoon, and you won't just see people holding phones. You'll see creators wearing dual-device chest harnesses, motorized gimbals, external cooling fans, and heavy-duty battery packs wired straight into tactical backpacks. Because when your entire income depends on maintaining an uninterrupted 1080p feed in a crowded theme park, Disneyland stops being a fairy tale kingdom and it becomes an office.
That right there is how to not be a Disney live streamer. That guy right there has more hardware than a Home Depot.
For these full-time streamers, a typical shift starts at 6:30 a.m. in the security line before rope drop and doesn't end until the park clears out past midnight. They log 15 to 20 miles a day on sun-baked asphalt, constantly monitoring signal strength, dodging dead zones, and reading live chat feeds while trying to look like they're having the time of their life.
So Art by Neiman sent a super chat, $49.99. Super chat. Thank you, Art by Neiman. $49.99 yet again.
It's an exhausting, hyper-competitive grind. But as their setups grow larger and the streams become more demanding, creators increasingly collide with the people responsible for keeping the park safe, the cast members. Officially, Disney's park rules strictly prohibit commercial filming without prior clearance. And while these streamers argue they're just personal vloggers, their bulky setups, monetized feeds, and refusal to power down during ride operations tell a completely different story. Take the streamer known as Fun to be Free. During a ride on Star Tours, he refused to stow his streaming equipment when instructed by staff. Rather than complying with basic ride safety procedures, he stood his ground, arguing with a cast member over park rules, until he was ultimately escorted off the attraction.
Does not extend.
Yeah, you still have to put it.
Does not extend.
So it just got flight stop because this has to be put in.
I'll leave. The whole policy is if it does not extend, A-okay. I'm here every day. Every single day. I prefer to stay.
I've just been told that you can't have that.
I'll exit because of the conditions.
You want to talk to somebody?
No, we're fine. I'm here every day. No issues ever. Thank you for making the magic.
An even more surreal breakdown occurred on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, with a creator known as Now is the Time. During his stream, the entire ride was repeatedly brought to a halt, with the operator broadcasting over the attraction's loudspeaker that the log boat could not proceed until his setup was safely stowed away.
Sir, in the front row, please put the selfie stick away. We cannot continue this ride once that selfie stick is put away.
It's not a selfie stick.
Sir, in the front row, the selfie stick has to be put away in order for us to continue this ride.
It's not.
What makes the interaction almost comical is what happens after he gets off the ride. Unsatisfied, he approaches a cast member to complain, questioning whether the ride operator was educated on park policy.
A bunch of us streamers come on here all the time, and we stream. And they said they would not let the boat go. I had to put my selfie stick away. And no big deal, and I don't want to complain. I was just curious if somebody just wasn't educated.
As he complains, the camera reveals his rig, 2 iPhones mounted side by side on a massive motorized gimbal. In his mind, because it technically wasn't a prohibited selfie stick, it was fair game, but he completely ignored that he was holding a multi-device commercial camera rig on a high-speed water ride. When the grind for content takes priority over basic park rules, safety guidelines are no longer treated as mandatory. They're viewed as minor customer service obstacles standing between a creator and their stream revenue. And as streaming inside the parks grew into a lucrative subculture, it attracted a new category of creator: massive mainstream IRL streamers with volatile, hyper-reactive fan bases. And with those audiences came the internet's most dangerous weapon against live streamers: swatting.
Now, breaking news in Anaheim, where police say a swatting call prompted a police response at Disneyland tonight.
Yesterday, there were at least 3 swatting calls, one of them at Disneyland, all linked to 2 popular live streamers.
Swatting is the practice of making false emergency calls, claiming active shooters, bomb threats, or hostage situations to trigger a heavily armed tactical police response. This has plagued gaming streams for years, but bringing the tactic into a crowded theme park transformed a digital prank into a massive public safety crisis. The breaking point reached a peak after a streamer named Oblivion was broadcasting live from the park floor, when a malicious viewer called in a fake active threat, and within minutes, over a dozen Anaheim police cruisers, tactical gear units, and law enforcement helicopters swarmed the Disney resort. Dozens of police officers were forced to investigate a non-existent threat, questioning the streamer and disrupting park operations while terrified families looked on. For Disney executives, this marked a line that could not be uncrossed. It was no longer just about loud commentators ruining the audio on Haunted Mansion. Live streaming was actively bringing SWAT teams, bomb squads, and mass panic into their family-friendly sanctuaries. Insiders and park analysts began reporting that these high-profile swatting hoaxes sparked serious debate at the executive level, whether it was time to follow Tokyo Disney's lead and issue a total, flat-out ban on all park live streaming. Because when a phone broadcast can summon a SWAT team to Sleeping Beauty's castle, the liability, insurance risk, and guest terror far outweigh any promotional benefit a streamer could even provide. Live streaming opened the floodgates for monetizing Disneyland, but it's only one corner of the park's creator economy. Beyond the all-day broadcasts lies an entirely different class of content creators: short-form influencers. To this wave of TikTokers, Instagrammers, and prank channels, Disneyland isn't even the subject of the content anymore. The rides, the castles, and the history have been demoted from the main event to mere background scenery. The park is simply an aesthetic backdrop for self-promotion, giving rise to main character syndrome on a scale the resort was never built to handle. In some cases, this means treating public walkways like private sound stages for commercial productions.
I can't record a vlog without this going on. Really? Really? Right in the middle. Oh, we're just recording a vlog. Remember what I said on the show about what annoyed me about Galaxy's Edge?
You have influencers like Ali Spagnola and massive social media accounts like the Sharp family using the parks to shoot full, heavily produced music videos, completely ignoring Disney's strict ban on unauthorized commercial filming. In other cases, it's about farming engagement through short-form viral stunts. You have clout chasers like Jack Doherty, uploading videos explicitly titled "Cutting Every Line at Disneyland."
Today, I'm gonna see how much time I can save by cutting every line at Disney. As soon as we got to Disney, the train line was so long that we just decided to make our own line. Now we're all the way at the front, look.
Intentionally provoking families who waited hours in the heat just to film the resulting argument for views. You have influencers bringing unauthorized pyrotechnics past security, lighting sparklers on Mickey-shaped cakes right in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle, risking fire hazards for a 6-second Instagram aesthetic. You have creators twerking in the middle of Main Street walkways, turning crowded family thoroughfares into personal dance sets. Even the park's face characters, the cast members portraying Disney princesses, have become target practice for viral engagement. Influencers regularly record themselves hitting on performers like Cinderella or Rapunzel, with inappropriate pickup lines.
I got Sleeping Beauty here. I want to tell you that. I'm really good in bed.
It puts cast members in a deeply uncomfortable boundary-crossing position, because these employees are bound by strict corporate protocol. They cannot break character, use aggressive language, or walk away without risking their jobs. And creators actively exploit their professional helplessness for views.
Hi, I'm KG, and I've performed with Disney for 8 years, and this type of guest behavior was genuinely the worst, especially with the rise of social media and attention seekers heckling underpaid theme park employees for a like and a comment, hoping they can get them to break character and potentially risk their job is pretty despicable behavior.
But the absolute logical endpoint of treating a family theme park as a promotional backdrop is the surge of adult creators using Disney properties to market their OnlyFans pages. Over the past few years, a growing number of adult models have brought toys and explicit 18+ shoots onto ride vehicles and park transport. Creators like Rebecca Starshine made headlines for filming adult.
It all comes full circle, man. Horseshoe theory when it comes to our media overlords.
Content aboard Disney attractions. For these creators, Disney's strict enforcement rules aren't a deterrent. They're the entire marketing strategy. It creates a win-win incentive loop. If they don't get caught, they get explicit content shot in a unique location to post behind a paywall. If they do get caught, security escorts them out, hands them a lifetime ban, and within 24 hours, viral news outlets run headlines declaring OnlyFans model banned from Disney. That media storm accesses millions of dollars in free ad.
Porn and kid-friendly content, two sides of the same shekel.
advertising, driving a massive wave of new paying subscribers straight to their profiles. Whether they slip under the radar or end up escorted out by security, the result is identical. A family theme park is reduced to a cheap billboard for adult media. But camera gear and clout chasers are only the most visible layer of the problem. Beyond the live streams and TikToks lies an entirely different side of the park's creator economy. A sprawling physical shadow market run by proxy buyers, eBay scalpers, and black market pin traders. Disneyland is no longer just a place where guests buy souvenirs. It has become a distribution center where people buy merchandise purely to sell an audience that isn't even there. The most direct manifestation of this is the rise of in-park live shopping. Step into a retail store on Main Street or World of Disney, and it isn't just families browsing the shelves.
Look at this absolute mountain right here. Look at this. They're just on live advertising things. They're having live sales shows in the middle of the effing store.
Personal shoppers walk through the aisles holding phones, broadcasting live on platforms like Whatnot, TikTok Shop, or Facebook groups to hundreds of eager buyers at home. They are selling products they haven't even purchased yet.
How is this allowed? She has a live show going.
A streamer holds up an $80 Spirit jersey or a limited edition Loungefly bag, looks into the camera, and gives the pitch. If someone sends me $100 right now, I'll grab this size off the rack and ship it to you.
All of this stuff is for person that are selling.
Viewers drop cash via Venmo or live auction features. Funding
You know, I can't knock the hustle, man. That's actually pretty smart. It's about the only reason I would go to Disney as well.
Transaction in real time. The reseller hands the Disney clerk the viewer's money, pockets the $20 markup, and moves to the next shelf.
So beer guy has $7.99, $24.99 for the Germany button down. We have small, medium, and large in the button down.
It is an unapproved retail middleman operation running right in front of cast members, profiting off souvenirs for a trip an audience is experiencing through a screen. It brings the entire creator economy full circle. A viewer at home can now spend an entire day experiencing Disneyland through someone else's phone, dictating which ride the streamer goes on next, ordering them lunch through the Disney mobile app, and finally, having a live shopper buy a souvenir off the shelf and ship it straight to their door.
I can't believe this. Everybody's on live.
Every single layer of the park experience, from the rides to the food to the gift shops, has been broken down, digitized, and monetized for remote consumption. Resellers line up hours before security opens, rushing stores at rope drop to sweep entire shelves clean, leaving regular families who waited in line with nothing, only to find those exact items listed on eBay for triple the price before the park even closes.
Seriously, what happened to families coming here, buying one or two things, getting some ears for their kids? No, it's turned into a sales event. This shouldn't be allowed.
And nowhere is this secondary market more volatile than in the world of Disney pin trading. What started in 1999 as a wholesome, family-friendly hobby for kids has devolved into a cutthroat gray market. Pin sharks haunt the park, operating with calculated precision. To maximize profit, bad actors buy massive bags of cheap counterfeit pins online. Then they bring—
Yeah, but do you know what you could do instead? That also released in 1999? You know, Pokemon cards also came out during the same year. And they are a much better alternative to fucking Disney pins. That's for damn sure. Even Star with the 5, did you watch? Yeah, we watched the Phantom Blade Zero thing. Sorry for asking again if you already did. It looks okay. Yeah, it looks fine. I worry about the parry slopness of it, but it has an easy mode, so in theory, hopefully it's not going to be a big deal, but I just wish, you know, every single action game was not a parry simulator. It's just, like, infected every aspect of the genre. But yeah, it looks decent. I just don't know if it's, like, enough to make me actually want to buy that and play it over all the other stuff that comes out during October. I'm a Pokemon adult. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Also, how are you today? I'm pretty tired, honestly. I've got like that feeling of like having like a weight across the bridge of your nose between your eyes. So, I don't know. I'm pretty tired, but you know, we're here. And luckily not queer.
These fake pins into the park and trade them with unsuspecting cast members or young kids in exchange for real, authentic Disney pins. Once they've stripped the park's pin board of valuable, authentic stock, they list those real pins on eBay or Facebook groups for massive markups. The obsession surrounding limited edition pin drops has triggered literal stampedes inside the parks. On release days, crowds of adults sprint through the gates, trampling surrounding guests. In some recorded incidents, even knocking over and injuring young children just to get to the front of the retail line.
My daughter—
Dude, they should start cow tipping. Like, go find the fucking fatties in the line for the pens and just start shoving them. Their weak, feeble knees will not be able to hold their weight up. Just start cow tipping the fucking fat-ass Disney adults.
was injured during Pin Drop Tuesday because of the stampeding crowd. People bumped into me, pushed me, and pushed my stroller over.
It reached a point so extreme that Disneyland in Anaheim was forced to intervene. For years, professional pin traders effectively set up unsolicited storefronts inside Frontierland, monopolizing entire rows of park benches and picnic tables with massive display binders, velvet boards, and price sheets. Regular parkgoers trying to sit down or eat lunch were turned away by traders who treated public seating like their personal flea market booth. Disney finally stepped in, issuing official rules banning guests from displaying pins on benches, tables, or chairs, restricting displays to small handheld bags, and attempting to reclaim public spaces for actual paying families. When looked at as a whole, the picture becomes undeniable. From the live streamers harvesting donations on dark rides to the influencers shooting OnlyFans promos on the skyline.
Yep, this is the consumer economy and its consequences, man.
To the resellers flipping popcorn buckets and counterfeit pins on Main Street. Disneyland is no longer just a theme park. It's an open-air factory floor.
Dude, the whole popcorn bucket phenomena is the most retarded shit ever. It's like, why do you even need a fucking popcorn bucket in the first place? I don't know. So retarded.
With dark rides turned into broadcast booths, walkways formed into TikTok sets, and retail shops converted into live auction houses, a simple question remains. Why has Disney let it get this far? And the answer is simple. They helped build it. Long before live streamers were shouting on Space Mountain, Disney realized the immense promotional power of social media creators. Traditional advertising was expensive, but micro-influencers offered something far more valuable: authentic, daily access to die-hard fans. They launched official creator programs, hosted lavish press events, and began flying selected influencers out for exclusive, all-expenses-paid previews. When a new land opens, a seasonal menu drops, or a ride undergoes refurbishment, Disney doesn't just invite traditional journalists. They roll out the red carpet for content creators. These hosted influencers are given VIP treatment, priority ride access, free merchandise, gourmet meals, and direct access to park executives. In exchange, they deliver glowing, frictionless content to millions of followers, serving as a free, hyper-targeted marketing arm for the resort. And this created a lucrative incentive structure. Everyday fans saw creators getting paid to go to Disney parks, receiving free hotel stays and exclusive access, and thought to themselves, I can do that too. Disney selectively enforces its own rules, depending on who is holding up the camera. An unsanctioned streamer holding a multi-phone rig on a ride might get yelled at by a cast member for causing a safety distraction, but a Disney-hosted influencer doing the exact same thing during a media event is granted private vehicle access, lighting setups, and dedicated handler escorts. Disney wants all of the benefits of viral internet hype without any of the mess. They want the free advertising from creators hyping up a new $30 popcorn bucket, but they don't want the stampedes in the stores. They want influencers posting gorgeous aesthetic photos in front of the castle, but they don't want them flashing on the Skyliner or soliciting tips on dark rides. By feeding the creator machine for over a decade, Disney created a monster they can no longer control. They turned their own park into a media incubator, and now they're left trying to police the very hustle culture they helped invent inside the gates. After dark ride audio disruptions, live auction gift shop sweeps, and security encounters on Main Street, the obvious solution seems simple: ban live streamers. It is the demand echoed across comment sections, fan forums, and Reddit threads. Except by now, we know it isn't that simple.
Hear me out. Euthanize all Disney pass holders over the age of 30 who don't have kids. There we go.
Would banning live streamers actually change anything? Or is streaming just the most visible symptom of something much larger? The truth is, live streaming didn't ruin the Disney experience on its own. It merely held up a mirror to what the modern theme park has become: a hyper-monetized, high-stakes platform where every square foot of space is fought over for attention, profit, or secondary market resale. Disney didn't just build a magical kingdom, they built an open-air marketplace. And as long as a phone screen can turn a walk down Main Street into a paycheck, someone will always find a way to monetize the magic. Because in the modern era, Disneyland is no longer just an escape from the real world. It's where the real world goes to hustle.
Reject the Disney slop, guys. Embrace Pokemon slaps. Although I've never been to a card show, so it could be just as bad, but I don't think it's that bad. I'll take hypebeast Asians over Disney adults any day. Hypebeast Asians are definitely preferable to fucking obese Disney adults, if you ask me, but... Well, we get the best of both worlds here. We get the best of both worlds with that comparison in the next video, so there we go.
Week is without a doubt the massive hack that Rockstar and Take-Two are facing, as a hacker has just straight up been leaking gameplay footage of Grand Theft Auto 6 from an earlier build. And this is something that I covered in my last video titled Hacker Leaks GTA in Protest of Digital Only Release, and it highlights all the basics that happened within the span of a couple of days. Nick Tech here summarizes it really well. On August 18th, a leaker claiming to have GTA 6 footage shares a short clip that shows Jason playing basketball. At first, people are like, I don't know if this footage is real. There's plenty of like fake AI footage out there. This might just be one of those. But then hours later, this leaker posts a second clip and the full GTA 6 map. The leaks are real. There are doubts whether this is leaked footage from 2023 or 2025, but Take-Two is taking down everything that gets posted online, which basically says this is real. Otherwise, Take-Two wouldn't go out of their way. Then the following day on August 19th, the community thinks that the leaker has run out of leaks to post and is now just doing it for clout. But then the same leaker posts 2 other clips, one of which includes music on a radio station that was released in January of 2025, and another clip that has an in-game cutscene. And then on August 20th, the leaker is running a paid poll asking people which clip he should post next. The community thinks that since he is running a poll, he probably doesn't have that many clips left to share, and there's no way he is the one playing the game in these videos. But then, and this is kind of the headline of today's news, the leaker posts the playing video and writes his name on a wall using a gun. Yeah, let's dive right into it, because the insinuation of that is potentially that this hacker and leaker might actually have a playable build of the game, which, if it is the case, could be absolutely devastating.
I'm pretty sure that's confirmed already
for Rockstar and Take-Two, because the kinds of leaks that could happen from a playable build is insane. I mean, we're talking about plot details, gameplay details, spoilers galore.
Apparently, he already has the ending, which would be funny as fuck if he spoils it.
And people are wondering whether this cyber leak hacker individual will go full out on this, or whether they'll trickle this in, or even wondering whether this individual actually does have a playable build. There's some reasons potentially to believe that maybe it's not a full playable build, and we'll get into all of that in a bit. But since these leaks have happened, there's been reports of how Take-Two has lost around $2.83 billion in market cap.
Dude, every company has a slave labor studio in India nowadays. So, yup. All the joys of outsourcing.
In less than 2 days. You can actually see this for yourself when you look at Take-Two stock, starting from August 18th and all the way to August 20th. Yeah, there has been a bit of a dip. Now, is this going to cripple Take-Two financially? Absolutely not. I mean, we're already seeing the stock price rise. This was just kind of a reactionary response on the part of certain investors. In the long term, GTA 6 will still sell incredibly well. I still think it'll be the best-selling product in entertainment history, and I don't think these leaks are necessarily going to stop people from buying and playing the final game. But still, this is far from an ideal situation for Rockstar and Take-Two, who want to control the marketing surrounding the game as much as possible, and obviously don't want people to see an earlier build of the game that might create potentially the wrong impression of what the final version of this title will look like. And this leaker, Cyberleak, came out with, a list of commandments, basically a manifesto saying this is what game companies need to do if they don't want to be the target of my hacks and the target of my future hacks. Basically demanding that game companies start to print discs again and not take digital pre-orders anymore, because digital products are unlimited in quantity. Demanding that they end the practice of DLC that is really just cut content, especially from single-player games. And then demanding that game companies do better at preserving single-player content. And
well, we already know the ending of Final Fantasy Part 3. Like, it's not, the overall plot is not a mystery, so... Final Fantasy VII was spoiled back in 1997, dude. Like, it's not really a mystery of what's going to happen at the end. Now, the minor details surrounding that overarching plot might differ, but we already know where it's going.
Basically referencing a lot of the points that Stop Killing Games raised. And with this final word, they say that if these conditions are not met, Rockstar and Take-Two will not be the only ones who will be afflicted by hacks. He will go after other companies, likely referring to the likes of Sony, who recently announced that they're going to be ending production of physical discs starting January of 2028. And yeah, this dude has been going full Riddler mode with manifestos and these kinds of poems that aim to mock Rockstar and Take-Two, and basically the fact that they managed to obtain all of this leaked data. Stop Killing Games had to step in and disavow this hacker and leaker, because Stop Killing Games is trying to get lost packs.
They had to step in, guys. Everyone was waiting for their statement with bated breath. Without a statement from Stop Killing Games, we didn't know what to think. But now we do. Thank God they stepped in, guys. Without their wisdom and guidance, how would we know what to even think about anything related to video games?
And do this through official above-board means. And even if the cause is similar to what Stop Killing Games is pursuing, the methods are obviously very different. Stop Killing Games is doing things legally, and this hacker is doing things illicitly. Now, even before the latest developments, there was reason to believe that the hacker and the leaker might potentially have a full build of Grand Theft Auto 6. And that's because it feels like a lot of the footage that he's pulling doesn't feel like just random bits of footage from development, but it feels like part of like a single playthrough and early in the game. And people notice things like how the character Jason, who is playable and one of the main protagonists, is wearing the same clothes, and it is early in-game footage in every leak that people have been seeing, suggesting again that it might just be someone's specific playthrough of the game that is being leaked. And then even with newer leaks that happened on August 19th, same thing. Jason is wearing the same outfit as all the previous leaks, which suggests that this isn't just an assortment of a bunch of different kinds of development footage. It feels like, something from a single playthrough. And then combine that with very detailed leaks like how GTA 6 allegedly and reportedly, based on what this leaker is saying, might have a currency in the game that can be traded for real money. And then combine that with rumors that this hacker might straight up just have video showing GTA 6's ending, or, Lucia's ending as is highlighted here. Well,
dude, wouldn't that be the ultimate full circle moment for so many of these We Did It Reddit tards? GTA basically implements their own fucking crypto coin that's used to purchase in-game items, and you can sell it for real-world money. Like, they basically just create their own version of a fucking crypto. That would be the ultimate irony. Because all of these, Rockstar fangirls would have to defend that shit.
All that has given the impression that this leak might actually be massive and a lot worse than people initially anticipated, and certainly not something that Take-Two and Rockstar are happy about. And then there's the latest development, which I briefly referenced at the beginning of the video. Tom Warren from The Verge here explains what has leaked that further corroborates the possibility that this hacker might actually have some kind of playable build of GTA 6. It reads right here, the latest GTA 6 leak proves that the leaker has a playable build, or at least part of it. They use bullets to spray leak onto a wall. Nightmare scenario for Rockstar Games. The leak shows off plane footage that looks like Flight Simulator. That's an aside. But the main thing is that straight up, this individual going by the name Cyberleak, who is the hacker who has kind of caused this whole situation, his name is spelled Cyber and then L-E-E-K rather than L-E-A-K. This individual showed footage showing him like shooting a machine gun at a wall and using that to spell the word L-E-E-K, leak, on that wall through the spray of bullets. And I have seen this footage myself, and yeah, it's legit, and it is very much in line with all the other legitimate footage that has leaked of this earlier build of the game. Right here we have someone who tweeted the footage. Already, this media has been taken down due to copyright claims. But yeah, Cyberleak officially has the GTA 6's game build, claims this individual, he's shooting the wall and spelling leak. This could be disastrous as he could leak the game ending, assuming he has the full game build rather than partially. Be aware that there are already people out there who are claiming that you can download this Cyberleak version of GTA 6. And yeah, don't trust those claims at all. You know, you will run a significant risk of getting hacked if you download this. There's still no 100% verification that Cyberleak has a full playable build. This is just assumptions based on the evidence that's out there. And there's certainly no evidence and nothing objective that indicates that Cyberleak has just decided to leak the full build of the game. So don't download anything claiming to be the full early build of the game that has been leaked. That is likely just bullshit, and you will likely suffer the consequences and will get thoroughly hacked for doing so. Now, in this next segment, I want to talk about new potential reports and rumors that really don't have much verification at all and that might lean into the side of falsehoods. This information that you yourself might see, but not all of it might be true, or information surrounding it is too speculative to say for sure if it's true or not. One of the biggest rumors that's been making the rounds today is that allegedly an employee at Rockstar India was hacked and a full copy of a pre-release build was taken by hackers from this Rockstar India employee. But even drama alert here saying all this is currently unconfirmed and speculation. This is all allegedly from a second group of hackers, and they allegedly showed screenshots as evidence that they are indeed legitimate and that the second hacking group's hack job against GTA 6 is real. But, you know, it's so easy to fake these kinds of screenshots, and again, the lack of verification for this from more reputable sources doesn't lend credence to this. There also claims that the second group of leakers have an Xbox development kit build of the game, but then this conflicts with other reports of individuals who have spoken to sources who are saying that the leaked GTA 6 footage is actually from the PC version, though this might be referencing Cyberleak's leak rather than this second hack group that, again, is purely rumor and speculation. But then you've got individuals like King Julian, who's also been speaking to sources and investigating all this, claiming that the build that Cyberleak possesses appears to be from April and runs on a dev kit and is not a PC build. So again, there's a lot of these inconsistencies in the information that's out there that makes it hard to know for sure what is real information and what is just people making shit up and trying to gain clout through this like incredibly unprecedented circumstance. But King Julian says that things are moving quickly, so please take this with a grain of salt. I cannot fully confirm, saying that he will do additional investigations to try to confirm things. But one interesting claim that King Julian makes is that the GTA 6 leaker Cyberleak may not actually have an active build that he can access at any time, specifically referencing how everyone made the assumption that he might actually have a build based on the fact that he wrote leak on the wall inside the game. And this is the reasoning that he provided. Quote, if he did have an active build, why screenshot the map piece by piece? I think that was done to hide the build numbers. Also, I haven't seen anyone mention his own watermark, which I believe sits atop the developer build anti-leak numbers. This is common for development builds of games, so that when things leak, they can track down the source. They have watermarks that kind of move around, and apparently the watermark for Cyberleak's logo was kind of placed specifically to cover those instances of showing the build number that moves around, and so he's using his own logo and his QR code and all these things to block that information. Again, I don't know whether that's true or not. I have seen the leaked footage, and I do know that I do see Cyberleak's logo and QR code just kind of moving around the kind of the video and stuff like that, the frame, but I don't know if there's an actual build number involved that he's covering up, or if he's just moving his logo around to draw attention to it so that people can scan his QR code and then, like, you know, get people to buy into his cryptocurrency that he's promoting, which is one of the like scummy aspects of what this hacker is doing, that, you know, kind of delegitimizes his so-called crusade and just cause of trying to like fight for gamers' rights, because he's trying to profit off of this and through like meme coins and through cryptocurrencies that are kind of really shady and nefarious. And then King Julian also highlights how
But dude, what's more shady and nefarious, guys? What's more shady and nefarious? Getting rid of physical media or cryptocurrency? Choose your battle, Redditors. You can only wield one sword in this fight.
Strange that in this paid poll that Cyberleak did to have people decide what should be leaked next, the poll's options are that of like pre-recorded videos and circumstances, rather than like, hey, well, you know, pay me and I'll do whatever you want me to do in this game and I'll leak that footage, which seems to suggest that the footage is pre-recorded and he doesn't just like record videos on the fly, that this is video that, you know, is already set. And so King Julian surmises that the only explanations are either he has an inside source at Rockstar who Cyberleak is going to be like, hey, can you get me footage that is something like this, something like shooting the wall with the word leak on it to try to legitimize my leaks, or, you know, the footage was pre-recorded during a breach, a private showcase, etc. Or as GTABase.com puts it here, a third option is that the leaker could have had access to a build in the past, recorded all the clips then, and only just started sharing them now. It would explain why it seemingly only from one play session appears to be early game footage only starring Jason and mostly just one outfit, and why he's been posting polls instead of straight up request lines for footage. New footage may be hard to get and the game's ending could be safe, but ultimately all of it is speculative. We don't know for sure if he has a build or not. If he does something like leaking a new footage where he shows himself like shooting the current date, like, you know, if he shoots up a wall that says August 20th, 2026, 8/20/2026, then that would be confirmation that he does in fact have a build that he has full control of. But for right now, there's debate as to whether this hacker actually has a playable build or not, if he's just making it look like he has a playable build by using old pre-recorded footage from like an earlier earlier breach. King Julian also claims that in his investigation, he's already managed to identify the GTA 6 leaker, and he doesn't go into full details. He says he's going to like present that information when that is like fully set in stone, when that investigation is complete. I'll be curious to see whether this is legitimate or not, but along the way, people have been asking him about this rumor that a Rockstar India employee was hacked and that a build of the game got leaked through that. Apparently, King Julian insists that this is false information. When somebody asks him, people are talking about India, is it true? Can you at least confirm that? King Julian says, nope, not at all. At least my findings don't go back to India at all. I'll leave this here. He is in Europe. And then when this individual said people are ripping Indian guy called whatever, he's getting a lot of backlash. King Julian insists that there's zero indications right now that the leak is from Rockstar India, at least on my findings. Again, this is where information starts to get murky, where it's he said, she said, and multiple sources are saying different things. And so I'm going to wait before presenting what I believe to be like, this is likely the accurate information, this is likely misinformation. We do know that actual footage of GTA 6 where the player shoots up the word leak, L-E-E-K, on a wall, that much we know is real. And especially because we've been seeing Rockstar and Take-Two taking those clips and videos down, suggesting that it is legitimate footage of some kind of build, early build of GTA 6. But everything else thereafter, like it's too speculative. And then another bit of such speculative information and rumor is allegations that Aiden Ross revealed he paid CyberLeak $350,000 for a copy of GTA 6, this early build, after confirming he actually
That's funny as fuck.
owns it and is planning to reveal his rating to his viewers live on Kick. And this is something that has been making the rounds on social media, but the thing is, aside from this one post where this information seems to originate from, I've seen no confirmation of this. I've not actually seen a video of Aiden Ross speaking to that effect. So, you know, I don't know if this is true or not. I just know that I've not been able to verify this.
I don't think he can announce it, but I don't know. I mean, maybe you could stream it on Kick. I don't know what Kick's policy is about unreleased games or not, but he could probably get away with it. Let's see. Incognito Wizard with the 2. Stop killing games is a cringe, quote-unquote, movement. Like, who cares about it? I agree, man. They already blew their wad when they tried the whole petition Europe thing, and it fell flat on its face.
And there just doesn't seem to be a lot of verification surrounding this in general. Like, this would not shock me if it were true, but that doesn't make it actually true. Again, wait and see until there's confirmation before you assume something is true. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy on social media when you look up Grand Theft Auto 6 and all the reports, rumors, and speculation surrounding it. But with all said and done, will this impact the bottom line of Take-Two and Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto 6? While this does certainly suck and it is creating a lot of negative buzz on social media, or the kind of buzz that Rockstar and Take-Two would not want to invite, I think ultimately in the long term, GTA 6, again, it's way too big to fail. I think Polygon here puts it aptly saying GTA 6 is too big for these leaks to hurt it. It's more an insult than injury. And that's not a defense of Take-Two and Rockstar. That's just the reality of how massive Grand Theft Auto 6, when it comes to the hype levels surrounding it. It's one of those games that goes beyond just gaming enthusiasts, even the general masses who don't look up gaming news, who probably don't know about these leaks all that much, and who, are just looking forward to playing the final game. The average Joe is also fully aware of just what a historic release is going to be. The pre-order is already off the charts, already having generated over $1 billion. Like, when this game does launch, everyone is still going to want to play the final version, the most polished version of the game. This game will still be, I think, the best-selling piece of entertainment, one of the best-selling products, and the best-selling piece of media in the history of media, in the history of entertainment, and surpassing every movie, every book, everything. Like, this will be a historic launch, and one that few to none will be able to surpass. But at the same time, amongst the gaming community, there's not a whole lot of sympathy for Rockstar and Take-Two, the corporations. Obviously, there's some sympathy towards the developers who don't make corporate decisions, who are just there working hard on their thing, following marching orders, and who are no doubt spending a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to make this the best they can be. But when it comes to the actual corporations and the suits that run it, people are just like not sympathetic towards them at all, and just straight up mocking them and laughing at them because of all the shady decisions that these corporate higher-ups make. When it comes to GTA 6, for example, the fact that they chose not to release a physical disc for what is going to be the biggest game in history, and then on top of that, they decided to like paywall watching the extended look at Grand Theft Auto 6, the marketing for Grand Theft Auto 6, they paywall behind the Netflix subscription for like 8 hours, which, sure, it's only 8 hours and you can see it for free eventually on YouTube, but it still feels kind of scummy. And then the fact that they straight up lock in-game content, like full stop content behind a deluxe edition, certain shops and certain things, like accessible things in the game, locked behind the $100 edition that also has not won many favors. But even then, there's reports that, the vast majority of GTA 6's sales are coming from that $100 deluxe edition. It's such a momentous game launch, and the hype surrounding it is so massive that people believe.
Well, that's the majority of new AAA game releases. If you look at the top selling pre-orders at any period of time, it is the $100 deluxe edition, the $120 ultimate editions, whatever it might be. Those are consistently the highest selling versions of pretty much every single new release title. Doesn't matter what it is.
That this is historic enough, I suppose, at least the general.
I guarantee you Gears of War E-Day, for example, the premium edition or whatever, the $100 version, that's the highest selling version on Steam and Xbox.
That it's worth splurging on the most complete version of the game, the $100 version of the game. But of course, the argument is that they could have just made the $80 version a complete edition and not have a deluxe edition that just basically paywalls content or takes existing content that is going to be in the base game and just separates it and into an edition that is more expensive for no good reason. So it's those things that's making people go, you know, let the hacker have at it. You know, yes, what they're doing is illegal, but that is not mutually exclusive from not being sympathetic towards the corporations and the suits. And that is also not mutually exclusive from still being able to emphasize with the developers who, again, have nothing to do with the shady corporate decisions. So that's still an ongoing aspect of the social media response surrounding all this. But yeah, I'll keep you all further updated as this situation develops. We'll see if this leaker cyber leak actually has a playable build or not. There's evidence suggesting.
I don't really care. All right, next up.